Hey guys, what's going on? Here is my prediction and preview for the Carolina Panthers versus the New York Giants game. So the Giants are currently 1-5 and the Panthers are currently 3-3. So let's just jump right in and take a look at the stats for these two teams. So the Carolina Panthers team defense ranks 7th, while the New York Giants team defense ranks 31st in the league. The Carolina Panthers passing defense ranks 3rd overall, while the New York Giants pass defense ranks 23rd overall. The New York Giants rush defense ranks 29th overall, while the Carolina Panthers rush defense ranks 17th overall. The Carolina Panthers defense is giving up the 6th fewest points in the NFL, giving up an average of 20.2 points per game, while the New York Giants are giving up the 29th most points per game, giving up an average of 29.5 points per game. But I think the key stat is the number of sacks each of these defenses has had this season. So the Carolina Panthers have the 6th most sacks in the NFL with 16 sacks so far this season. The New York Giants have the 28th most sacks this season in the league, so that means they're in the bottom 5. They have the 5th least number of sacks. They're tied with the Texans, and they have 10 sacks. So this Carolina defense can obviously get pressure on the quarterback, and that's bad news for the Giants because Giants starting left tackle Andrew Thomas just went on IR this week, so that means either Nate Solder or Matt Hurt is going to be starting at that left tackle position. And you know what? That's great news if I'm Hassan Reddick or Brian Burns, because it's going to be a game for them, because this Giants offensive line did not play well last week versus the Rams. And if I'm Daniel Jones, I was thinking about this the other night, I would honestly be nervous. I'm not saying Daniel Jones is nervous. He's probably not nervous because, you know, he's an NFL quarterback. But if I was Daniel Jones and I knew Andrew Thomas wasn't going to be playing versus this defensive line, I would be nervous. I would be sitting back there in the pocket, you know, constantly trying to check over my shoulder because I'd be scared of getting hit. And trust me, Daniel Jones is familiar with, you know, Hassan Reddick and getting sacked by Hassan Reddick. So let's take a look at the offensive stats for these teams. So the Carolina Panthers offense ranks 15th overall, while the New York Giants offense ranks 26th overall. The New York Giants pass offense ranks 10th overall, while the Carolina Panthers pass offense ranks 13th overall. The Carolina Panthers rush offense ranks 16th overall, while the New York Giants rush offense ranks 24th overall. The Carolina Panthers are scoring the 16th most points per game, averaging 23.8 points per game, while the New York Giants are scoring the 27th most points per game, putting up an average of 19 points per game. So I kind of said the same thing in my New York Giants versus Los Angeles Rams preview video. I said, I think the D-line is going to give this Giants offensive line a really tough time and a lot of issues, which is really just going to mess up this Giants offense and really just make their whole offense horrible, to be honest. And you know, that's what happened last week. This Rams defense was dominating this Giants offensive line, and they could not get the ball out quick enough. I mean, there was no time to throw the ball down the field for Daniel Jones. And I honestly think we're gonna see the same thing from the Giants this week versus this Panthers defensive line. I don't think routes are going to be able to develop. I don't think plays are going to be able to develop. I think this Panthers line is just going to dominate this Giants offensive line. On the other side of the ball, the Giants defense just kind of needs to do the same thing. They need to try and get pressure on Sam Darnold, because Sam Darnold, when he's under pressure, he does not play super well. Last week versus the Vikings, he was sacked 4 times and he only completed 17 of his 41 pass attempts. But the thing is, will the Giants actually be able to get pressure on Sam Darnold? I mean, they have struggled all season with getting pressure on opposing quarterbacks, but in this game, they really got to take some risk, you know, leave guys one-on-one and just come up with some blitzes that can actually get to the quarterback. I also have a feeling the Panthers are going to be designing a handful of runs for Sam Darnold, and I don't know if the Giants defense is going to be able to stop them. There are a handful of injuries for both these teams heading into this game, so Christian McCaffrey is obviously on IR. I previously mentioned that for the Giants, Andrew Thomas is on IR. Chuba Hubbard is starting in place of Christian McCaffrey, and he's honestly been really solid. Before his start last week and his previous 2 starts, he was averaging over 4 yards per carry. So like I said, he's definitely a solid running back, and his name is just awesome, Chuba Hubbard. Like, how fun is that to say? Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard. It sounds awesome, and it's just fun to say. I don't know how to describe it. I just love saying Chuba Hubbard. It seems like Saquon Barkley could also be out again this week for the Giants. He did not practice Wednesday. Kenny Golladay also did not practice Wednesday. Caden Smith also did not practice Wednesday. John Ross also did not practice Wednesday. Kadarius Toney also did not practice Wednesday. So a lot of guys on offense did not practice Wednesday. And then for the Panthers, they also do have a handful of guys who did not participate in practice on Wednesday. Okay, so it's time for my final score prediction, and I have the Panthers winning this one 24-10. I just don't see the Giants being able to move the ball down the field versus this Panthers defense. And I don't know if this Giants defensive line is going to be able to get pressure on Sam Darnold. If they do, then they will have a chance at slowing down this offense. But still, I think Chuba Hubbard could have a really decent game. I mean, Darrell Henderson had a decent game last week versus the Giants for the Rams. And I just don't think this Giants team is good right now, to be totally honest with you. And the Panthers are due for a win. They started out 3-0, lost 3 in a row. They are due for a win, and I think this could be a bounce-back game for them. So that is it for this video, guys. Make sure you drop a thumbs up. Let me know your final score prediction down in the comments below. And subscribe. Peace.